Hey, if you're a coach, consultant, or course creator, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to be going over sales pages for sales funnels, more specifically front end offers. So, I'm going to bring you through a couple of these offers and show you what are the best practices, what you should be doing in 2025 to really stand out for sales pages. All right, let's just dive straight in. So, just as some quick background, if you're new to this channel, my name is Chris, and I work with high ticket coaches, consultants, course creators, and help them to scale their businesses. So I've done things like generate 100K per month for day trading coaches. I'm going to show you that funnel, helped real estate coaches achieve 230K in 60 days through event launches and that sort of funnel. I'm going to show you that as well. And just a couple more stats for you to know that I'm a legit human being. And now I actively write newsletters, articles, and resources for Teachable, which is the leading course platform. And this is the newsletter that I write that goes out to over 1 million contacts per week. And here are some creators in the platform. This is not sponsored or affiliated in any way, but just want to let you guys know that I am a legit human being. All right, let's just dive straight in to the funnel. So, just to kind of give some background or lay some groundwork, these sort of structures are not for beginners. So, if you're a beginner watching this video, this is to scale your business, not to necessarily start your business. When you first start a coaching program or a consulting business or a course business, you want to actually run things through manually. You want to get manual feedback. You want to get testimonials. You want to get market research. You don't want to dive straight into one of these funnels because if you do, you will actually be front loading a lot of the work and not necessarily knowing that you're going to get your desired result. So, really important thing to note that when you dive into these funnels, you're doing it to scale, you're doing it to grow, you're doing it because you already have some degree of proof. So, the way that I would define that in terms of revenue is this is if you're above $10,000 per month and you can comfortably invest in ads, you can comfortably invest in more short form and long form content. This isn't going to work as well for you if you haven't either reached that point or had the capital to invest in advertisements because this type of funnel is for scaling and growth. Okay, I said my spiel. This is what you need to know about front end offer pages for growing and scaling a coaching, consulting, or course creation business. Now, I'm specifically doing this in terms of high ticket coaching funnel examples, but really what I mean by that is any type of high ticket offer. And I define that as anything above $2,000 or more for a B2C offer and anything above, let's say, $5,000 for a B2B offer. So let's dig through each of these. These are each funnels that I have worked on with clients, current clients, and previous clients to sort of have their front end offers really well organized. So let's go through each of these together. So this first one is for REIN, the Women's Real Estate Investors Network, and their funnel is a front end $17, $7. They change the prices here and there. That's something that they can test masterclass. And so what this is people go and land on this page from a Facebook ad, from a YouTube ad, from some sort of front end advertisement. They get hooked in and they go to this page. And let's just dig through this together to see what the components of this page look like and why they're there. So at the top, oftentimes you'll see this with a lot of front end pages that they have sort of a top call out, which is the thing above the headline, where they're trying to sort of hook in or call out a target audience. Right here it says Kickstart the New Year Empowering Yourself. Right now, as of the time of filming this, it is January 6th, 2025. So we're right at the new year. These types of front end pages, you must understand, get updated a lot. So they split test headlines, split test videos, split test above headlines. Right here is an above the headline, get the financial freedom you deserve. So straight into the benefit. Become a proud owner of passive income real estate properties in 2025. So what do we see here? Proud owner. So this is an identification statement. This is a more benefit driven, emotional sort of identification statement as opposed to like a very like you're an accountant, you're a CFO, you're a insurance agent. Like it's not necessarily calling the target audience out like that, but it's calling out an aspirative identity, which is an owner of real estate. Then passive income is going to be the desired outcome through the mechanism, which is real estate properties in 2025, or rather, I should say the industry. And then the way that they're going to do that is secure their spot for the Without Fear of Her Future virtual masterclass starting on January 26th. So the way that REIN runs their masterclasses, they are live in the sense of they go live. Sometimes it can be pre-recorded and go live at that time. And sometimes it actually is physically live so that they can answer questions, so that they can object and address any objections, things of that nature. So This is one way to run your front end offer is to use a masterclass and to have an above the headline, a headline, sub headline, and then details about the actual class itself. Then they go straight into social proof. Discover the step by step strategies 220,000 plus women have used to turn properties into profits and transform their financial future and lifestyle. So if you see here, there's a few things happening here. So discover the step by step strategies. So breaking that down into step by step, which is helps it feel easier, helps it feel more tangible and palpable. And then you have 220,000 plus women. So that feels like a lot of people. And it says women here specifically because this is REIN, Women's Real Estate Investors Network. And that is a smaller and smaller slice of the market. It is appealing to a wide group of people, women in general, but it is also narrowing down by talking about the desires of passive income, becoming an owner of real estate properties. These types of things slowly start to narrow down the audience as you go along. Then they're going to take that a step further by removing a pain point. No license, bank loan, technical skills, or experience required. Then, yes, let's do this as call to action. You do that, a modal will pop up. Once you put your information in here, I'm sure it takes you to a checkout page. So sign up now and get 3 bonuses. So that's just underneath the call to action. And so if you see here, a lot of the imagery, right, is used this kind of communal imagery, this sort of imagery of Teresa Todd, who is the owner, is, like it says right here, a proud owner of passive income real estate property. So this image correlates and confirms what is being said on the page itself. Here you see awards here. So these women are getting awards for hitting certain benchmarks in the programs. Then you have an as seen on. This is good for building credibility. So you see here above the headline, you have either an audience that's called out or you have a specific event, something timely, something relevant, something usually connects to the ad. So they probably are running some sort of New Year's ads, New Year, New You sort of type of ads. Then you have the headline, which mainly calls out audience benefit. Then you have details about what the front end offer is, then step by step strategies. You have the pictures here. Credibility, always really important. It's time to change your financial future forever. So this is a not a sales letter, it's a breakdown of what they're going to be getting for the front end's offer when they say, yes, let's do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, risk free, right? So, showing more credibility, more testimonials, more credibility, and you get all of those things here. So this is a relatively short front end landing page. And, recently I've seen that these tend to do pretty well because a lot of the actual exploring people can do on their own. So let's just dive back in here. That's the first example of what a front end landing page and offer can look like for an 8-figure program. They are doing well over, I think, 40 million a year at this point. It was back in 2023. So here we have B&B formula. So this is the next one we're going to kind of break down also in the real estate sort of sphere and also a multi 8-figure program, I think around the same revenue as REIN. See if we can get a more clear visual here. So this is a little bit different, right? So this is on a free book. It's not on a masterclass or a live masterclass. So basically, with this, it says free book reveals how to start your own Airbnb business without owning any property. Very simple. Okay, so it's a free book, it's Airbnb, and you don't need to own any property. That's interesting. I thought you had to own an Airbnb in order to run Airbnb businesses. So again, this is challenging conventional thoughts or challenging sort of what is the known and established reality to people and just splicing that, going against the grain, pattern interrupting. And then we have here a 1 minute and 57-second video, low commitment. Then send me your address. I'd like to rush a free copy of my brand new book to your doorstep as soon as possible. You click this, it tells you to put your info, you put in your billing info, ships you the book. So this is what you'll learn inside the book. Brian introduces himself, his story, etc., etc., etc. This is what the authorities have to say. So this is more credibility from known figures like Grant Cardone, Tai Lopez, etc. About this powerful book. This gives you the video testimonials, then another call to action, then a short list, more testimonials, and then more video testimonials. So if you see a pattern here, basically it's that it's a simple claim, a very easy to understand offer, very interesting hook that's not too complicated, simple video, and then a lot of credibility. So most of the page, I would say like 40, 50% of the page just credibility. And there's additional reviews. So if you click this here, it's just going to take you to all of these reviews, which honestly is the best thing for your credibility. And once you get there and you have those types of testimonials, use them, leverage them, put them everywhere because there's nothing stronger than actually having the testimonials and case studies. At a certain point, you want to be careful because FTC and regulations can get really crazy if you start to make claims and you can't back them up, which is why the bigger the company, the softer the claims tend to be and the more scalable it tends to get. However, when you're first starting out, you have to find a balance because you don't have 500 testimonials. Maybe you only have five. So you have to have more interesting claims. You have to have more interesting benefits and details, and your front end offer has to be more interesting before you're that established. So I'll go over and show you a few examples of just that, where it's a more interesting front end offer because it's not as humongous of a company. All right, so this is Shay, also known as Humble Trader, and she wanted us to run this offer to cold traffic through Facebook ads in order to scale her business. So I'm going to go through the landing page that we built for her and what essentially it was doing. So, like I said before, there are some larger companies once you get into the eight-figure realm where you can do a front end offer that is self-liquidating, so to speak, where you're recouping some of the ad costs. So, let's say that you spend $30 for a lead, but they pay for a $10 product. So your spread there would be a $20 loss on the front end. Then you would make up for that on upsells, cross sells, order bumps, and usually getting people on a call where you can sell them something higher ticket. So that's usually how things go that way on self-liquidating offers. Shay's was a little bit different though. We had her do a free course offer, and her sort of claim of fame was that she didn't like the way that trading gurus overemphasize the earning capacity or ability of new traders. And so instead she was teaching them a tactic on risk reversal or risk management rather. So if you look at this page, we started with "Hey trader, hate your job, keep reading." This goes back to sort of the identity of someone who may be in a 9 to 5 job, but they also love trading. They like doing that on their free time. They like doing it in their mornings. They like learning about it. So they identify as a trader, but they also don't like their job. So they have something preoccupation that they don't enjoy. And so this kind of qualifies people at the top. Even if they skip that, it's how I built my day trading system to 5 to 6 figures profit per month, then taught hundreds of students to do the same with the single most undervalued strategy I've ever seen. So this headline's doing a lot of things. So it's a how I as opposed to as to a how to. So the reason that we did that, a how I, is that it frames it more so as you're seeing something behind the curtain as opposed to, hey, I'm trying to show you how to do this thing. Once you cross a certain level of authority with your audience, then a how to is completely fine, right? Like if you watch someone for several years and they say how to do something, of course you believe them. But we knew that from front end cold traffic, this wasn't the case. We had to make it clear to people that this is a story of someone who's successful doing this and that it's not necessarily claiming that that's what you can do. So it's a how I did this for myself and then taught hundreds of my students to do the same with the single most undervalued strategy I've ever seen. Get your free video course now. So we have a above the fold call to action, and that just gets people to put in their name, email, phone number. And we had a VSL. So this was just a video of Shay, and she was explaining essentially what this was, which in a kind of very succinct way was risk management. That's what she was helping people with. And so in this free 6 video crash course, you'll learn an infallible strategy for highly profitable trading, how to hone in on the best stocks, the mind of the market, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like just make it seem like a really valuable course, a really valuable thing that people would actually pay money for, especially someone who considers himself to be a trader and doesn't enjoy their job. And the front end adds to this. There's a lot of variation there, which I'll go into in a different video, but just this kind of matched up, everything's synchronized well. Then they have the call to action here. And, we sort of hint at a special message, which is the next page to get people to book a call. Then we put in testimonials, testimonial highlight. And then this is the fun part, right? This is where we can dig into the sauce and we can really just get into the sales letter message, right? And big part of what you do on a sales page is really get people to identify with the message that you're putting across so that they can see themselves using your offer. And so in this instance, the offer is not something paid. The offer is in exchange for their name, email, phone number, contact information to get this 6 video free course. So this is great. All we have to do is convince them to click that button and get the free course. So let's just double down on the sales letter, double down on the messaging, the storytelling, and tell their story from their perspective, right? So that's part of this. So imagine this: you stare blankly at your multi monitor setup, cold brew in one hand, sweaty desktop mouse in the other. You let out a shaky breath, your fingers go numb, 928, 929, 930. So if you aren't a trader, you might not know what this means, but essentially a lot of traders, and I'm not a trading expert, so I can't really attest to all of this, but I know that they have like elaborate setups. They're up in the morning, ready as soon as market is open, boom, they're going for it, especially if they're day traders. So click, click, click. That's essentially them making trades, and the room turns red, your coffee spills, you throw your mouse across the room. And so like that is a visceral storytelling moment that you can have in VSLs, in sales pages, in sales letters like this one, in ads, in organic content. Like all of these things help you tell the person's story better without making it feel like you're pushing something onto them. It's like, okay, they get me. They're telling my story. Like, how did you know I like cold brews? Whatever it is. So then we go in here and we basically say what you're doing doesn't work because you don't have strict risk management. Risk management doesn't sound attractive. It doesn't sound new. It doesn't sound flashy. That's exactly why this messaging actually worked, because it was contrarian to the concepts and the ideas that were already going on in the marketplace. Every trader is like, make $10,000 next month or your money back. Shay was like, that's not going to happen because you don't have a good strict risk management process in place. And in order to get to where you need to be, so right here it says in this line, so how did I go from broke and broken, wannabe day trader to consistently profitable 5 to 6 figure months? 3 words: strict risk management, right? And so we're just disarming the audience, right? So then after we go for that sales letter, then we have a bunch more testimonials, and I believe we added more after this. Then we have like nice little splash graphic, nothing crazy, right? So the graphics on these pages aren't, well, for the most part, anything too out of this realm of possibility. It really is the messaging, the structure, and the context of where this page lies in your larger sales process. So that is the front end page that got Shay to 100K months in, I believe it was less than 90 days, at around the $4 cost per lead, around the $50 cost per call, and around a $250 cost per acquisition. For context, her offer was somewhere between $2,000 to $2,500 per year. So that's in the realm of a 10 to 1 return on ad spend. Now, of course, there's sales teams, of course, there's fulfillment. So by the time you take it off, most of these businesses at this scale, at 7 figures, run on, somewhere between a 40 and 60% margin, depending on the efficiency of the business and how much the business owner takes out and how much the business owner reinvests into advertisements, for example. But this wasn't bad. Spend a dollar, get 10 back. It's not horrible. So let's talk a little bit about Josh Cantwell. So Josh Cantwell worked with us. He's a 7 figure multifamily real estate coach. And what he did, or what he asked us to do, was to put together a 3-day live virtual event funnel for him. So he needed the sales page, he needed the process, he needed the follow-ups, he needed the front end ads, and he was going to run this to cold traffic. Now, the interesting thing about Josh Cantwell is he's a different type of coach compared to the other coaches that we've looked at so far, including Humble Trader, BNB Formula, Reen, because by and large, those first 3 coaches, they were biz op coaches. They were B2C for the most part. Now, there was some B2B appeal, but that was a secondary sort of deal. It wasn't a primary B2B marketplace. Josh Campbell, on the other hand, is not trying to appeal to the beginner. He's not trying to appeal to the person who has heard of real estate investing and wants to get into it. He's trying to appeal to the existing real estate investor. Maybe they have 10 units, 100 units, and really take it to the next level for them, while getting back to the root origin of why they got into real estate in the first place, which is for leveraged income, passive income, so to speak. So if we go through the sales page, we had that in mind. First thing that we did was the headline, of course, the step-by-step blueprint we used to raise tens of millions in capital, acquire 4,300 multifamily units, and retire early with apartment buildings. A lot of things happening here. The first thing that I would like you to notice is that, just like Humble Trader, we use claims for things that Josh himself has done. We weren't using claims from his testimonials above the fold. We weren't also using claims of what you would get in terms of your results if you were to go through his 3-day live virtual event. That could get him in some trouble, especially in terms of cold traffic. And the other thing about that, it also just doesn't work as well. So for both ways, you want to be careful about how you advertise and the claims you make from a legal standpoint, but you also want to do so to make your advertising more effective. So the step-by-step blueprint that appeals to a direct sort of understanding of the detail of what they're going to be given. It's a step-by-step blueprint in this 3-day virtual event. You'll leave with a step-by-step blueprint on how to raise tens of millions of dollars in capital. I believe at this point, Josh had done at least 80 mil, might have been more than that in capital, acquire 4,300 multifamily units. So he did that himself, retire early with apartment buildings. And he digs deep into how that can be done. And below the fold here, you see that each ticket costs $195 in this initial segment. Now we changed and moved that up to $297 at one point, $97 at one point, I believe for Black Friday. In this page, we go back down, we go to the sales letter. So the sales letter here, hey, it's Josh Cantwell. If you are an experienced real estate investor. Now we try to call things out above the fold, but if we don't, then we have it somewhere as close to above the fold as possible about who this is. Qualify your audience. Again, this is really just best practices for marketing, but it also helps with the Facebook pixel if you ping back conversion rates from your landing pages or your sales pages back to the Facebook pixel. If you're running Facebook ads, let's say, and they see, okay, this is a low conversion for this target audience, then the algorithmic function there will automatically kind of negate that audience, or you'll be able to at least tell through dashboards and analytics that, hey, this audience isn't working. But the way that you do that is make it very clear who you're appealing to and who you're not appealing to. So this is experienced real estate investors who have a desire to do larger deals that provide forever passive income and want to move away from the game of transactional real estate investing. So this is not, hey, I want to get into real estate investing. This is, I'm already in real estate investing. It's transactional. It's one deal and done. And I just want recurring income, or I want to work on larger deals that are going to make a bigger difference in my life. So we then dive into Josh's story about surviving pancreatic cancer and how it was very difficult for him, and then how he adapted his business to be able to fit, his condition and what he had to do. So he needed these things. He needed these things. The audience also needs these things, but he's talking about it from his perspective. I needed something to pay me upfront to acquire apartment buildings. I need lifelong passive cash flow and freedom. I need to build a balance sheet so I can build even bigger assets and businesses, things like of this nature. Then we have a lot of lifestyle images. This is sort of a nice to include because it is refreshing. People see lifestyle images. They want to live that sort of lifestyle, but also it breaks it up from all the businessy side of things. And he has the financial freedom to travel anytime he wants, anywhere he wants. Currently has a portfolio of over 3,000 active doors, active units that bring in worry-free passive income month after month, year after year. And he now is showing that system, how you can copy and paste that in order to do XYZ things. And then you just join, you buy your ticket. Here's the daily breakdown of the actual event. This is a live virtual webinar to make sure that people know that it's not in person. And this is the sort of thing that can generate a good 6 figures in a month, let's say, because you have people get into this event and tickets were expensive, $195. And I believe that the cost per ticket sale was pretty high. It was in the 500s at some point, but that was okay because you're willing to receive a loss in the front end to sell his, can't remember if it was 10,000, 20,000. I wouldn't be surprised if it was $50,000 a year for his coaching. So this is one of the strategies that we used with Josh Cantwell. So last but certainly not least, I want to talk to you a little bit about Perry Sray. So we worked with Perry Sray. He was already a successful 9-figure e-commerce business owner, and now he wanted to launch a coaching program helping dads to make money online through e-commerce and through AI specifically. So this was his free book revealing a practical guide to earning passive income with AI. How you can make an extra $3,000 to $5,000 per month on autopilot using a simple AI-powered e-commerce business model. So these are taking known and unknown concepts and kind of meshing them together, appealing to a B2C market, specifically dads who are dedicated to taking care of their children. So we're appealing to that. Perry's a dad as well. And so this is talking about sort of the challenges that he had with his life and how he found a sustainable business model in order to develop those challenges and address them because he had a successful business, but it was taking over his life. So now he's talking about a guide to earning this passive style income with AI inside of e-commerce. So we had a VSL here as well. Here's what you'll learn from this new book: command your time, harness the power of AI, smart scaling, financial resilience, etc., etc. And then you could click this button, enter your address, and pay for the shipping of the book. And he will cover the actual price of the book itself. So free plus shipping books, also another good way to sell products and have things funnel up to a higher ticket offer as a coach or consultant or a course creator. And also, we added some bonuses. So they got the ebook version, they got a handbook, which was just a downloadable PDF essentially, and they got a step by step companion manual for mastering e commerce, also another PDF. Another call to action here to enter your address. Is this for you? This is for you if X. This is not for you if Y, right? So if you're comfortable in the known, you're unfazed by potential income, you're content with the status quo, these things aren't going to be for you. When you take action on this book, you'll discover one, two, three, four, five. Again, we try our best to sort of not make any income claims as much as we make claims about the benefits of the business model, right? So learn to create a Shopify store that succeeds even if IKEA kits leave you baffled. So fun stuff like that, really just appealing to the target audience, to the target market. Of course, there are recent results, there are testimonials, there are things of that nature, but this was also a new offer, right? So this was before he kind of got more testimonials on this offer and before it was tested out because he had an e-commerce business. This was his first go around for coaching. And then we have here the classic sales letter. So, hey, dedicated dad, tired of books that promise golden secrets but end up as glorified doorstops? I get you. So, we are digging into that. That is just another sales letter. Love to have one of those if people want to read and they want more information. They want to feel more down the rabbit hole. A lot of people at this point would have already clicked this link or clicked off the page. This is for those people that really like to just scroll to the bottom. Let me talk about who is Perry Stray. Having a bio in here is always fun. Usually do it for each of our sales pages. And that is his sales page essentially. So this was for his book. And then after his book, we did a order bump. And then after the order bump, we also did an upsell to a $497 course. And after people took that upsell or didn't take that upsell, they have the opportunity to book a call for higher ticket coaching. Now that we've gotten to this point, how do we actually take everything that we talked about and implement that into your business so that you're actually able to create a scalable front end offer and scalable front end sales page that people will want to buy from and that people can know and trust everything that you're saying? Now, I'm not going to go through the components. You've seen it already above the headline, call to action, VSL, bullet points to describe the offer. You've seen testimonials, you've seen the sales letter, you've seen different sliders. If this is for you, if this is not for you, also the practical elements of the page. And they need to be there. But what I want to talk to you a little bit more about that I think might be a little bit more helpful is step by step how you would build a scalable front end sales page in terms of your messaging, which is the most important thing. Messaging comes before design, messaging comes before the build out. I think the only thing that might be more important than messaging is load speed. So making sure that your thing actually works and people can actually read the messaging. Step zero, obtain a substantial amount of credibility. So if you notice in each of these things, even for Perry Stray, for example, he may not have run his own coaching program before, but he had credibility in the actual thing that he was coaching. This is very important, especially right now in 2025. You're not going to find a lot of coaching programs that succeed without a lot of credibility. Now, this is a kind of chicken and the egg argument, but I would say it like this. If you don't have at least 10 solid testimonials and case studies from people you've helped or how you've worked inside of this industry, I would not recommend trying to create a scalable front end sales page and offer because, again, in this climate, it's just not going to cut through. So, do you have at least five? I put five here. I'd be safe and say 10 detailed results driven testimonials from past clients and customers that show that you know what you're doing. If you don't have as many, that's okay. That's completely fine. It's just wouldn't be worth your while to create a scalable front end sales page. Instead, what you should do is use appointment setting to book calls one on one directly and get one on one results for these people. If you can do that, do it before you do a scalable offer. Because if you try to scale before you actually have a proven out process, it's going to hurt your ops, it's going to hurt your sales, it's going to hurt your appointment setting and your marketing. It's just not going to be good. It's better to build out a foundation, over 3 to 6 months, get really, really good results for 10, 20 people, a handful of people. Get them to do testimonials, get them to do case studies with you. It makes a world of difference in your market. Also, do you have any awards or features in top PR publications, Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, MSN, NBC, any of these places where you can actually pay to get PR features? So there's a bomb if you've never kind of known that, but that's what it is. You can get paid to get into those features, or if you have any other industry awards, then you can go and sort of scrape those up and make sure that you have those. A lot of people also use logo sliders. So they'll say like as seen on or trusted by these experts. I think Brian Page did that on his page. Also, do you have at least 30 long form YouTube videos on your channel? This is going to make a really, really big difference. Even if they don't have the most views, it's okay. But do you have rabbit holes that people can hop down? That if they want to know more about you, can they go and find you, learn more about you, and buy your stuff through those means? A lot of the times with these funnels, the differences that we saw in terms of how efficient and how effective they were was solely based off of how much other content was out there. For example, Josh Cantwell struggled for a while in terms of the front end acquisition costs because his existing content wasn't as strong. Then when we ramped up the organic content, we were able to see differences in terms of CPA, cost per lead, etc. So, are you also verified on all social platforms? Are you verified on Facebook and Instagram? Are you verified on X? Do you have any top badges on LinkedIn? Are you shown to be a human being who's credible and verified? Do you know what comes up when you Google your name? So, a lot of the times, if you have a common name like mine, Chris Chan, you're going to see a lot of different types of stuff on Google. But if you have even more of a specific name, can you actually Google yourself? And do you know what comes up when you Google yourself? So, just make sure that you know what all these things are. Then the first actual step on your actual sales page is make it painfully obvious that you're speaking to an extremely specific type of person. So we see examples of this all throughout, right? So here for Reen, women who want to become proud owners of passive income real estate properties. Here, this is people who want to own an Airbnb business without owning any property. Here, this is traders who want to quit their job. Here, this is for, let me see down here, experienced real estate investors who have a desire to do larger deals that provide passive income and want to move away from transactional real estate. Here, this is dedicated dads. So these are very clear, and some are more clear than others, I will admit. But the more clear that you can be and the more extremely specific you are on the front end sort of offers, you can split test this. You can run different offers to different audience types. You don't have to be pigeonholed in, but when you write the sales page, you want to make it clear because a lot of people think that the sales page should be all about getting more leads, but it's not. It's about getting the right type of leads. In fact, you want less leads that are more qualified so your salespeople can go back in and work these leads and really work the good leads instead of distributing their time across hundreds of leads that may not even be qualified or getting on unqualified sales calls, filling up slots that could have been taken by a qualified person. So you want to just be really, really clear. The sales page is more of a filter than it is really a capture. So people that get on here, you want to filter them out. And that's why it may be a little bit of a misnomer to look at conversion rate as the main metric of a sales page. Okay, now I'm going too in depth. But step one, make it painfully obvious that you're speaking to an extremely specific type of person. So some questions that I might ask in this step, have you clearly defined exactly who your product or service is designed for? Are you using language and that mirrors how your audience talks about their own struggles and desires? So you notice that in Humble Trader. You notice that in Josh Cantwell's sales page. You notice that all around we're trying to mirror how the audience talks about their own struggles and desires. So do you call out a specific niche or person directly in your copy? Does your messaging immediately show that you understand your audience's pain points and goals? And have you made your offer feel exclusive to this particular audience? Now, the second step here is to actually go ahead and write a story priming headline and hook or lead. By that, I mean the actual headline itself and the subheadline and the lead copy, which is the copy that is directly after either the first CTA or after the subheadline. So, in this, you want to ask yourself the questions: does your headline pique curiosity or stir emotion right away? Are you addressing the single biggest problem or desire your audience has? Is your headline simple, clear, and easy to understand at a glance? Are you using words and phrases that reflect your audience's internal dialogue? And does your hook make readers want to keep reading to see what happens next? These are all really important. to prime your audience for the stories that you're going to bring them through. Step three, melt objections with damaging admissions or throwing stones conceptually at other sort of concepts that are out there in the marketplace. Try to stay away from being too explicit with who you're trying to target in terms of wrong thinkings or any myths that you're trying to bust. But this is a great opportunity for you to challenge the conventional norms and come off as contrarian, original, as a thought leader, and different. So, have you acknowledged the biggest objections your audience might have? For example, it's really expensive to get into trading. Don't I have to buy real estate or buy an Airbnb B&B in order to run an Airbnb business? How do I do this as a full-time dad? Are you acknowledging that those are big objections that your audience might have? Have you shared any flaws or limitations in your offer to increase authenticity? So Shay in Humble Trader, she notes that it's not the most interesting thing to learn strict risk management, but it is the thing that all successful traders have in common. Are you challenging outdated industry norms or calling out competitors in a bold and confident way? Have you used stories or real life examples to show how objections were overcome by past customers or past clients? This is where those 5 to 10 testimonials and case studies are really, really important right here. Does your copy make readers think this person really understands my concerns? So, the way that you can do this is through the sales letter. The VSL is also really good for this. So, video sales letter is also very, very good for this sort of thing. And then step four is have an easily understandable, irresistible offer. Few pieces of that aside from perceived value, likelihood of achievement, time delay, and risk. So those are the very key core elements. So Alex Hormozy talks a lot about this value equation, value formula, and irresistible offer sort of structure. But are your claims believable? Can someone take action on your offer and get results within 7 days? Do you have proof to back up these claims and lower perceived risks? Have you broken up your audience's desired end result slash dream outcome into the smallest action steps possible? These things are all really important because when you're running from front end traffic, people don't know who you are. And even if they opt into your thing, unless they take action, they're not actually going to want to buy anything from you. Because coaching, consulting, course creation is one of these intangible products, digital products, where in order for people to actually get results, they have to actually use the thing that they are claiming to buy or put their information in exchange for. So it's not something like a cup where if you buy a cup, you whether you use the cup or not, you have the cup. Yes, they have the digital asset, but they don't physically have it there to remind them that that's what they spent their money on. So that's why a lot of courses and coaching programs get labeled as scams, even the really good ones, because they're highly dependent on someone actually opening them up, using them, and consuming the information and implementing on it. So just be very clear about that. Have you broken it up to the smallest possible desired end result and just broken up each step it takes to get there? So if you're teaching someone how to make money trading, have you broken that up into the little tiny pieces like risk management and then stop gauges and then stocks to watch and how you sort of set up your trading software? Or all these little tiny steps are really important, and that's where I think people go wrong with front end offers. They think that they have to offer the moon, and they think that they have to offer the entire business model on the front end. It's not true. People don't trust you, they don't know you, they don't like you if they're coming from strictly cold traffic. You want to take a small slice of that pie and prove that you can solve a tiny problem. Then maybe they'll give you a bigger problem to solve. And then maybe they'll give you a larger problem to solve and eventually pay you for it. Because in this sort of trust recession economy, as people are calling it, you need to get someone to pay you $1. And if they're willing to do that, the sort of cost switching of going from one person that you trust to another person that you trust is so high that people will likely stay with you through this journey if you can prove to them that you can get them small results within a very small time frame. So, moving on to step 5, develop a digital storytelling rabbit hole. Do you have a narrative sales letter on your page or a VSL component to your funnel? Does your offer naturally lead your audience to dig down a deeper rabbit hole of actionable content? Have you crafted an origin story for your product or service that builds credibility and trust? Are you including micro stories in your landing pages and VSLs that humanize your brand and make it relatable? Have you developed a hero's journey narrative for your ideal customer, positioning your product as a guide that leads them to success? So, in other words, are you thinking about the stories that they tell themselves and the stories that they find themselves in? And are you relating to that? Or are you sort of just throwing features and benefits and claims out onto the wall and hoping that something sticks? Like, do you have a continual narrative that will evolve over time, but do you have a set structure that you're trying to bring people through? An A point and a B point, and every step in between in this hero's journey for them as the hero. So, finally, just a fun little bonus step, you can get my free 7-figure funnel training down in the description below. I'll leave a link. This includes 7 actionable videos to build your first funnel in 14 days or less, checklists for scalable 7-figure funnels, copy docs from all of the clients that you saw just there. You'll get the copy docs for the ones that I have worked on. You'll get the ad scripts, ad copy, funnel pages, design swipes, video sales, letter scripts, email, SMS, setter, closer scripts, upsells, cross sells, order bumps, all the stuff, templates for all the funnel copy, immediate access to all new trainings as soon as they come out, completely free. Just click the link below and I'll send that over to you. And if you want your first funnel or your next funnel built for you from scratch, click the other link below, book a call with me and my team, give you a free funnel consult, and I'll see you in the next video.